That's enough of that. What's good? What's good in the hood, everybody? It's another episode of What's the Word Wednesday. I wasn't in the mood for no long intro. I'm looking forward to getting these questions answered. We're looking forward to hearing from our special guest on this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's What's the Word Wednesday, where we do our very best to try to motivate you, encourage you, inspire you, lift you up, give you some practical everyday nuggets that you can use for your business. I'm Eric Clifton, and we got some guests on this evening along with our regular co-host. I'm gonna let the regular co-host go ahead and announce himself first. Go ahead. We listen.
This is Roger the Dodger Lillard. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Wonderful.
Awesome, awesome. We appreciate you, Mr. Lillard. Mr. Lillard on this evening will be our ventriloquist tonight. You may see his mouth not moving and hear some words coming from a different direction, but it is him. Uh, we have some special ambassadors in the building. And did y'all coordinate the colors today? I just peeped that, Roger. You see that? The ambassadors have the nerve to have on red while we over here in black. Okay. I like how y'all did that. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Okay, all right, I'll go first. Daryl always gives me the floor first before I pass the mic to him. I am Deborah Bond in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, one of your master ambassadors with IntelliTravel and the Platinum Network. Mr. Jenkins.
I second that. No, I'm Daryl Jenkins, Waldorf, Maryland, one of your master ambassadors with IntelliTravel and the Platinum Network as well.
Awesome. So look, before we jump on into tonight's talk about travel, all things travel, how to do it, how you guys do it, market it, produce it, run it, whatever it is you do, right? We want to get these announcements out the way. We also want to shout out whoever has jumped on the call with us already. Mr. Lillard, you always got the announcements. Go ahead and give us this evening's announcement. You guys should be tagging your friends, your team members, right? All things travel. We got the superstar ambassadors on this evening. Go ahead, Mr. Lillard, with this evening's announcement.
Let's see what we got with us first. We got Elizabeth Shaw with us, Brenda Venable, Zelda Holman, and that's their story with us on so far on tonight. Announcements, of course, you all know you want to chime right into Platinum Network every single Sunday, 8 p.m. We have the game plan called Mr. Scott, our 4-star director. Definitely want to chime into every first Wednesday and Thursday night right here with What's the Word Wednesday. Then we got first and third Mondays, 8 o'clock with Platinum Travel Talk. And so we're going to talk travel on tonight, y'all. I'm excited about that. Then get ready, y'all. We got the our very first since the pandemic, y'all. Hot Saturday. If you're in the DMV, we got the Hot Saturday happening on this weekend, right? August 6th, this weekend. I believe it's in Bowie, Maryland. So get with your sponsor, get with your leader, your director, get that information from them. Also, we have coming up Super Saturday training coming up with our CEO and founder, Mr. Donald Bradley's going to be in the building. Don't want to miss that. There's still tickets available. I think it's under 80 tickets left, so you want to jump on that real quick. Also, we have convention, y'all. Definitely want to get. I believe there's still tickets left. I'm 100% sure. Go in your back office and check. Get with your director, and then the team retreat coming up in November. You don't want to miss that as well. That's it for me. Back to you, sir.
Absolutely. So get those tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss any event that you're qualified to attend. You just don't want to do it if you don't have to. So we're going to jump on into the topic on hand, all things travel, with two of our travel ambassadors. Mr. Lillard, one of the ambassadors might know, how many ambassadors does the Platinum Network have? I think we got the most. Y'all are pretty deep. Y'all are red shirt deep out there. How many travel ambassadors do we have?
Roger, do you know?
I think it's 6, isn't it?
6. Awesome. I didn't know. I would have guessed 5 or 6. That's a good one. So the first question that we're going to ask as it pertains to what it is that you guys, as it pertains to what you guys do. You guys are travel ambassadors, right? With our opportunity. Take a moment, doesn't matter which one, it's not, this question isn't for any particular one of you two, the ambassadors. Roger, you got to hold off on this. Tell the people who are watching, recorded or live, what an ambassador is for IntelliTravel. And if you want to, you can also, after you talk about what it is, tap into why you decided to become an ambassador, right? And if it is even advantageous, would you recommend it to the people listening? So tell us what the heck a travel ambassador is, right? What did I say? Why are you doing it? And then
this all being recorded.
No, turn the recording off, please.
Yeah, I'm just remixing it. But go ahead and answer that one. Either one of y'all.
I'm gonna yield to Daryl first. He was our very first ambassador, now and master ambassador with IntelliTravel. So, Mr. Jenkins, let me let you take care of that one, and then I'll chime in a little later.
All right, so an ambassador pretty much has gone through all of the educational certifications of IntelliTravel. So we've gotten from Dreammaker to Vacation Builder to Travel Genius, and then we had to interview to become an ambassador. We went through a rigorous training with our director of training, Miss Jessica Sittimer. Then you did an exit interview, a verbal interview, a written interview. It was a lot of work. And then they put you to the test, right? So we are essentially an extension. I consider us to be a liaison between the agent population and our host agency, right? We are connected to the executive leadership. We meet with them once a month. We take back some of the issues and challenges that are seen in the industry from our partners. And we also are the only ones, aside from our executive leadership with IntelliTravel, who is able to train all 73,000 plus active agents.
Fire. I love it.
So he told you what it is to be an ambassador. I'm going to tell you why I chose to be an ambassador, and then I'll let Daryl come back and tell his reason. Total transparency. When I saw that red jacket, I thought I would look great in it.
And you do that, mighty. You do. You look mighty fine.
I love red. Red looks good on me, right? Yeah. But then I went through the training, right? I went to the training. I started getting more involved. I started helping people. And that changed my mind on why I truly wanted to be an ambassador. So for me, it was the satisfaction of being able to help any and everyone in this industry. Because, you know, when you build a team or you bring people into this industry, you just don't want to bring them in just to bring them in to have a number, right? You want to make sure they're given the tools to be able to succeed. So I felt that as one of the people that was introducing others to this business, that I should at least have the knowledge to share and train and teach and pour into those agents that are joining us on this journey. So my why changed from because I look good in that red jacket, right? to being able to help others succeed in this business, because I find it very, very satisfying, because, you know, travel is my passion, that if I'm going to do something, I just want to share it with the world. And if I can help them along the way, then I'm going to help them along the way.
I love it.
So that was good, Deb. For me, again, as she mentioned, I was the first ambassador for the Platinum Network, and it was on accident, right? You know, when we got started in the business, we knew that there was a top of both companies. So my focus was to get to the top of each of the companies. Now, I had no idea what an ambassador was, what its training program was. In fact, they were still really developing it out when I got in. And I remember telling Preston, I was like, I don't quite know if I'm going to do this, but I'm here now, so I'm not going to quit. So I stuck to it. And then it kind of evolved over the years. And we got, I think when I became an ambassador, it was only maybe 27 of us, maybe. And now we're well over 100 ambassadors in. So the program has definitely evolved as we've gone on. And for me, it was because we were able to pour into the organization that we were building. That, we do it with our Hot Saturday trainings, and we have different segments. So it was to have somebody who was an extension of IntelliTravel to be able to sit in the space and be able to offer that insight on the travel industry from a professional standpoint. And again, like Deborah said, most of the time when you started to grow your team, you want to be able to cultivate the team, right? So you got to have some sort of knowledge. You got to have some sort of inside connections to not just IntelliTravel, but also our suppliers, right? We build relationships with them. That's how we are getting them on our first and third Mondays, because of our relationships through an ambassadorship with IntelliTravel. So for me, it was a number of different things, but I think those were primarily it.
I love it. Now, before we jump over, the last part of, I guess, my little segment of questions, because it's a rigorous course that you got to go through to obtain it, and anything worthwhile should be, you should have to go through something. The other part of that question is, do you recommend that people try to become an ambassador? Like, is it even in that recommendation, yes or no? Is it what's the benefits behind? Like, am I making more money because I'm an ambassador? Do I get to get behind a door that the regular agents can't get behind? I mean, what are the benefits that come along besides the jacket and the ability to teach everybody? Are there any other benefits that might be luring me and Roger to become ambassadors?
So, Eric, you see, we both avoided that question, right?
I noticed that. That's why I brought it back.
So,
keep it 100. Like if
I'm gonna keep it real.
And it's good, but you wouldn't really recommend it to everybody. We want to know that.
So, how do I put this politically correct, right? Or we not worrying about that?
Come on, Dave, this family here, Dave. You got
okay, because I was gonna say you can edit this out, right? So it's
no, we're gonna edit. We keep it 100.
It's live.
No. All right, so
we don't even shave for this show. That's how we keeping it raw.
Look at me. You can look at me and tell.
What did he say?
He said you can look at him and tell.
His lips didn't move though.
No. All right, so I would recommend becoming an ambassador to anyone who is not looking for some type of reward or some type of return on their time. It's strictly volunteer, right? If you have a heart for training and pouring into others to help them grow in this business, at least in trying to do travel sales, earn money, top money in travel sales, then I think it's for you. If you are expecting to get those extra perks, those first time notifications, free stuff, that's not what this is about. It's all about service. Now, we might get some of that stuff from time to time, but it's not guaranteed. And totally honesty, sometimes they just simply forget that, they promised us that they would tell us things first. So yeah, if you are not looking for something in return and just the satisfaction of pouring into others, helping others grow in this business, then it's for you.
To add to that, another reason why I did it was to be the evidence, right? A lot of people didn't believe in what we were doing. And so going back to that was one of the reasons why I did it. I needed to prove to people that, listen, if I could do it, you could do it too, right? But then not knowing what it was I was doing, I was like, skirt, I'm not going to recommend this for it's much different than directorship, right? Yes. Directorship comes with the Planet Pledge. It comes with that director's bonus. It comes with a huge, residual monthly check as you're building your organization. So those things are benefits to becoming a director. An ambassador, they were still figuring out the program. What do they want to offer? How are they going to use us? In what capacity, without basically having people coming to them and saying, you are employees of IntelliTravel because we're having you doing all of these things for us. But they wanted us to be able to say, because again, you got to look at it. They told people that Eric, you're a director, but you can't train your people unless you're an ambassador. Most people ran to become an ambassador for that reason. So for many people, it was really the wrong reason, right? So like Deb said, if you don't have a real passion to help people, to really help them understand the product and to be able to remain within a compliant space, because again, that's really what we are. We're like the compliance police. We want to make sure that people are doing things within some decency and some order within structure, as we represent not only ourselves, but IntelliTravel as well. So just making sure that those things were, kind of clear to people. Because I always ask, if they ask, should I become one? I ask them, what is your reason for doing so?
Yeah.
And they tell me something like, I like to help people, or I have a training as a background, I'm always training people. Okay, then let's continue the conversation. But if people just like, I just want to be one, and they don't even have a reason why, it's really no reason for you to, because there's people who get in a program and they never finish because they didn't know what they were getting themselves into. They had nobody to talk to beforehand to determine if this was for them.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
glad.
that was me in the beginning. Yeah, that was me in the beginning. I just wanted it for the jacket until I fully understood what it was. And then I knew it was for me because of, being able to pour into others and help them with travel.
I love it. Mr. Lillard, I know you got a question for the ambassadors.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you. Y'all stop it. I want to thank you too.
Hey, look, you should have a little doll or a dummy sitting next to you. That would be hilarious.
Let me finish. So listen, everybody, they can hear me. God dang it. So, on all honesty, I truly appreciate you all because, it allows us as Platinum Network organization to say that we have the very best ambassadors in the whole company, and I use that on a regular basis. So we appreciate you all and all that you do, because I understand, like I know that it's voluntary, and most people don't, and so it's it's truly appreciative of what you all are doing with the organization. It really sets us apart from every other organization in the company, to me personally. So kudos to you all. Now, my first question is, now there are some new people on here tonight, and they're just getting started. They're like, man, so what are my first steps? So, and either one of you could take this question, or both. Maybe y'all may do things a little bit differently, but what are you going to do with that, like a brand new person when they first come on board? Like ABC or 1, 2, 3. What's your first steps for them?
Dara, you want me to take that? You want to take it?
You can start.
Okay. All right. So when I onboard someone, the first thing we do is we take a quick walkthrough of their back office so that they know what they have, right? And then once I, go over and I tell them, there's certain things that they need to do, like, make sure you're going to your back office often to see what's there. The training manual is very, very important. The preferred partners guide is your first place to go when you're looking to book travel. I take them over to the IntelliTravel University because I think it's important that they take that training because it gives them in-depth information, video-based information to help them understand what they have in IntelliTravel. So it kind of goes along with that training manual. People like to read, right? They like to have something printed in front of them and they take notes on it. Well, the video-based, the university part of it is that video-based. Those people who learn by listening, right? So I think it's important that that's the first thing that they do. And then understand that they don't have to they don't have to book every single thing. They need to focus on a certain area so that they will not be overwhelmed when they're trying to book travel. Okay. And then I'll set up, after I go through their back office and tell them the training and stuff, I set up another appointment like a week later to talk about any questions or concerns that they have, and then try to dive down into what their specialty is so that I can direct them in their next area of where they should take some training, right? So that's pretty much it in a high level of what I do. Daryl may do something a little bit differently, but it's like a 4-week course with me. You get 4 specialized 1-hour one-on-one sessions with me to learn about your travel business for 4 weeks. Now it's up to you to schedule those appointments and keep those appointments. All right.
That was my next question. Like, what time frame do you have for someone to get into their modules, get the test done? So that was good. That was my next question. So Bill, you can answer both questions as well.
Sure. So pretty much like Deb said, right? IntelliTravel has a real intuitive learning program. I think that's what I liked about it. And it's relatively simple. Most agents have never decided to go to school for business and don't know anything about being a travel agent. So I think them first unlocking their business and getting into their back office and going, there's a agent quick start guide that is my first stop guide. That quick start guide has 10 steps to getting your business started off on the right foot. So it gives you things that you can check off that you can do right away. There's things that you can maybe do later because it may be another cost like ordering your business card. So that right there will help them set up their personalized website. It'll have them to download their training manual. So there's stuff that they can do within this checklist to get them started out of the gate day one. As they're going through that, the next step is to complete the IntelliTravel University because it's literally an hour and a half, 2 hours tops, right? Rainy day, you bored, knock it out, get it done. And that's the gateway to also becoming registered with VAX after 60 days. So you don't want to wait until 60 days to do it. If you can knock it out now, and like Deborah said, it's so comprehensive and it's simple. The videos are between 3 and 6 minutes. It helps you at every level understand what your responsibility as a travel professional is and different things. How is commission paid? How to book a hotel directly? How to book a cruise? What about groups? There's so many different modules that help you understand the business you have now partnered with. So I think those two things combined is really where I go with that. And I do a walkthrough. I show them where the knowledge base is. I show them where the help desk is now. Supplier registration has moved into the help desk tab. So I make sure that I make them aware that here's where you're going to register for 5 at one time. So you don't have to keep doing them individually, get you 5. And I give them what suppliers to register for first so they can start booking travel as soon as they're done with the academy if they got clients available. Most people want to get the clients first and then they running frantic trying to book the travel because they don't really understand it.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, so if you get the educational component first and you get some level of understanding, you can have an intelligent conversation with perhaps your sponsor or your ambassador that can help you get you to the next point in closing that sale.
Yep.
Do you know those vendors off the top of your head or no? I mean, it's okay if you don't.
I mean, of course I do. I tell them all the
So the Oracle.
Exactly. So, for starters, for all things Caribbean is Vacation Express. Now, you want to do domestic and Caribbean or international specifically, you will do American Airline Vacation and Delta Vacations. Those you can request access to right away. And then, of course, for hotel-only bookings, we are not using our back office. We are registering for beds online. That is another key component to you booking individual bookings for just hotel. And they also have some international-based things. You can also couple some activities. You can do rental cars and some other things in their newly designed platform. And then, of course, you will pick your cruise line. So you should register with Norwegian, Carnival, and Royal Caribbean. That pretty much gives you enough arsenal in your tool belt to start right out the gate. Like you got enough.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, your second question, Raj, was...
Y'all answered already, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
How long do you give them to, complete their travel, their training? And if you...
Deb give them 4 weeks. What I do is, again, after the introductory, I pretty much give them what they need to work on, and they can let me know because it has to fit inside of their schedule. So whenever they get around to finish it, they'll come back and say, okay, what's next? Because I've given them in our first session, here's what you need to do in breadcrumb format. So basically, don't overwhelm yourself, but here's what's on your plate right now, right? Mm-hmm. And so they get through those things, and then they can kind of work through it at their own pace. They may want to decide, okay, I'm going to register for these suppliers first. I'm going to go over here and print the training manual and read that. or I might go ahead and double back. So at least they know where to get the things done at, and they can let me know when they're done with all of those things.
Yeah, I offer up to 4 sessions. So if they decide not to take advantage of the other 3, then that's fine. But it's up to them to reach out to me to schedule those remaining 3 sessions.
And
I like both.
Carla, our AIT, said that she also offers Disney. For people who have younger children or they love Disney, then I would add that to the list of things to do. But most people would like, look, I ain't got no kids, we ain't going to Disney. So it's not, because that is very intense. So I want to get them through the first phase of it before I give them anything that's going to be like, this feels like a real college course, because the College of Disney Knowledge is definitely just that. It feel like you should have went to college to get a PhD, a real one.
Yes.
Facts. So look, now my next question for you guys. And listen, if you guys are enjoying this information, from there, we basically just having a sit down conversation with y'all ambassadors. If you're enjoying this, show some love, give us some thumbs up or some hearts. And if you got any questions that you would like us to ask the ambassadors while we have them on here, by all means, put your question in the chat. My question for you, either one of you or both of you guys, a new person gets started, they're excited, they got all kinds of zeal without no knowledge, and they want to make some money ASAP. But let's for all intents and purposes, we're talking about an ITA only, right? That's all they want to do. Even if they're a dual agent, we're talking about the travel side. This is a person that now I'm in here, I haven't done anything yet, but I want to know how I can get paid quickly, ASAP. So besides me signing up a new travel agent, that's typically the quickest way we can get a check. What are you guys' suggestions or formats or blueprints to how your brand new agent can get a check ASAP? And then obviously a trip was going to have to get booked, but maybe you have suggested the quickest trip you can help them book. But what is it the way that you're helping them get a check ASAP?
That's a good question. So for me, Daryl, what you going to say? Because I'm going to say I'm going to book myself a trip and invite people along with me to get paid that commission.
Well, that's what you would do. But how are you presenting it to the new person? Like walk them through. Okay, I'm trying to get paid ASAP. I'm in this thing. You don't want them going 2 and 3 months paying that $40 and not having even booked something. So are you saying, hey, I don't care. Let's see if we can get somebody to book a hotel and rent a car from you, just to get you a check? What's y'all approach?
I mean, Deb has a good approach too, because again, I always look at the opportunity like this. If nobody books travel, I'm going to use it for myself. So if nothing else, I'll be my own best client. But aside from that, what I normally tell people as they're looking at the opportunity right through our PBRs, you're starting to gauge how this is going to work for you. So at some point, you may throw out some fillers onto your social media platform to get people engaged, right? Who's going on a vacation, where you're looking to go to, just to kind of get some fillers from some people that are following you. So when you get in position, you can now drop a hot deal, make a flyer instantly, and you can already turn over that. Again, you have to look at it from a business perspective. We're not looking at it from a travel agent perspective, but where's your business head? As a business owner, if I opened up a brand new restaurant, how would I get people into the door? Yeah. So there has to be some activity. I think a lot of people focus on the travel agent side of it and not looking at the business side. That's how you keep the revenue coming in. I'm not looking at my product. I'm looking at, I need to figure out how to get the money in. And that comes from marketing, Eric. That comes from, being able to understand what your marketing demographic may be, right? Who are you marketing to? What are you marketing? Deb said earlier, your niche market, right? You got to understand who's your target audience, and then is this where they want to go? Yeah. So that's kind of how you would get them to that first check. And if there's anybody who is paying this money every month and feeling like it's a bill, it's probably because it is one. You haven't decided to make it a business. So therefore, you're not in profit mode. I always tell people your business, once you start booking a trip, you put your business in profit mode. So, and if you're booking a trip every single month or every other month, the commission will cover your payment. So then it doesn't feel like a bill because it's paying for itself.
I love it. I love it. I love it. One thing that's interesting, and I didn't have to bring it up as I would normally be the one to do so, but you brought it up and you touched on something that's huge. You touched on marketing. It's amazing to me how many people join an opportunity like this, or consider joining an opportunity like this, and you guys have all probably heard this one. I'm going to do that travel thing, but I don't want to do the marketing thing. Well, I don't want to do that marketing side. And I'll be saying to myself, knowing what marketing is, I'm like, well, how in the world are you going to do the travel side?
Successfully.
Market, right? Because at the end of the day, if no one knows you're in business, then you're not in business. And if you're a secret agent, you're not getting paid, right? So you have to market to get those clients. I'm glad you said that. That's the first thing I would tell a person. Listen, we got to start now deciding on how, in which, and where you are going to market your business. So, Mr. Lillard, before I jump into the next question about some marketing and how they do that, do you have a question for the ambassadors?
I do, but it shouldn't be late. Here's my quick question. You know, we're I guess still gradually coming out of the pandemic. You know, so how are you all dealing with? Because I know you all during the pandemic were still booking trips. What do you say to someone who still feels like they want to travel, but they still get that feeling through the pandemic that they don't want to travel yet? What is your rebuttal to that? Like, what are you saying to clients that want to travel but they still scared?
So, Roger, that's a excellent question. I don't try to convince people to travel. If they're afraid to travel because of COVID, I don't try to convince them, but I do try to educate them on the safety protocols that are in place for COVID and let them make their own decisions. So if you're afraid, then there's no way I'm going to get you to travel if you're afraid, right? So if I provide them with the facts that we've learned through training, then maybe that'll help them make a decision. But if they decide they can't go, I don't think there's a way I can convince them to go if they're afraid to travel because of COVID.
So for me, Raj, I think it's kind of twofold, because I think I normally would have heard that from one of our business partners saying, I'm not comfortable selling travel because of COVID. Not necessarily the client don't want to go. They like, look, we've been in the house too long. The kids driving me crazy. Where do you have somewhere for me to be? So what I did was, and again, most of my client base followed me on social media. So again, I was boots on the ground during the height of COVID, right? For 9 months straight, I took 10 trips internationally. I was gone every single month. And that was for me to be able to record and document so people could see what was happening in the domestic airports, what was happening in the international airports, what were the sanitation protocols that they were implementing in the resorts, where were their certifications through Crystal certifications that gives them this sanitation certification, so that people felt comfortable. What were they doing in terms of like the buffets at some of the resorts? Of course, people were leery about those things, so they got a chance to see the plexiglass and the floor markers and the hand sanitizer stations. So they wanted to be able to understand. In the rooms, they got a chance to see how everything was clean and in plastic. So I made sure that all of that was visible to people, so that they understood that the resorts not only cared about themselves, but they wanted to make sure that the guests that were going to frequent their resort was also comfortable. And then we also talked about things like the occupancy level, right? Because those things were varying based on what country you were in. You know, for most people, they would tell you they felt like Mexico was never closed, where Jamaica had some of the most strenuous protocols, and they constantly changed because they kept evaluating their own numbers in their spaces. So they constantly changed. And as those things changed, we needed to stay regular and on pace so we could be able to regurgitate that. So for me, it was about me being in position to be knowledgeable enough to have a conversation, not like Deborah said, to persuade them to do differently, but so that they were more comfortable saying, well, you know what? I saw you there and you looked like you had a great time, and they looked like they had all of these things in place. So maybe I'm more comfortable. Could you answer some questions about these things?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Your ambassadors are
Nuggets drop.
Your ambassadors are great. And look, did you hear Daryl say he took all them trips just to do what he said he went out there to do? I'm like, everybody else taking trips to get away. He's like, no, I'm going there to inspect these things. And then I want you guys to notice something. Daryl kept saying, that he was going to these places and doing these things to show you guys something, depending on where he was at. He's going there and he's showing you. That's marketing. We're getting right back to that marketing thing.
Exactly.
See, some of you guys brand new. This is what I tell, especially the brand new people who've gotten involved with us. You're brand new. Maybe you ain't been nowhere. Maybe you're not going nowhere for the rest of the year. Who knows what your circumstances are like? But you've probably been somewhere, and you're probably going somewhere that's outside of your house. And what Mr. Jenkins was just talking about, he was just documenting and recording these things and places that other people want to see and go, right? And you record it, and I promise you, somebody's probably going to reach out to you. So we're talking about marketing. We want to know from you guys, ambassadors, because you guys do it the best. Darryl just said he's taking pictures and videos, and you can see the plexiglass and everything. What marketing tips would you give the new person outside of, some random flyer on social media? Or if that's the case, what are the marketing tips that you would give that new person so that they can move forward comfortable and confident about this opportunity?
Darryl, you want to start? You want me to start?
I can start. So, for me, I think visibility is a great way to market, right? I think that we have to understand that, especially during COVID, right? We had 2.5 years where people were primarily at home, so social media became their life. This is all they knew because they were home. Perfect way to have those conversations, right? Live videos. Some of us have our business pages where we are marketing travel deals and having conversations and educating them there, updating. So you using social media as a free source of marketing was probably the best way to go. And it doesn't have to be shoving a trip down people's throat. It's just basically giving them enough knowledge, posting things that are of value that get people to the point where they are attracted to your page because they're seeing that, understanding that Facebook algorithms, you got to keep some engagement. So you got to ask the right questions. You got to get people liking and loving and sharing and commenting so you can keep those things high. But again, if you don't understand how that all works, your marketing theory in your mind may even fail. So whatever you post as even a flyer may not even get seen. So again, just understanding how to do it and do it well enough so you get the right visibility and traffic to your page, I think would be key.
Yes. So Darryl talked about the marketing and him taking the trip. So he led into that with the previous question about, going into destination, right? He did a lot of international. I did a lot of international last year. Every single month I went somewhere because I turned 55 last year, y'all. However, I think we always talk about being a product of the product. Now, even if you are not flying somewhere or taking a train somewhere, right there in your home city, you can go and do market research. You can go out there, go to hotels in your area, take pictures, take videos, share that information, talk about what's important or what's exciting about your area. Because people are not going to travel international all the time. Something domestic is ideal for those people who do not want to get on a plane, a place that they can drive to, right? So you can do that kind of marketing as far as making sure people know that you are a travel agent and learning about the safety protocols in your area. The other thing that I do, we always be a product of the product, right? I'm always a product of the product. So that's what actually got me to actually building a team, because I was being a product of the product. And I was sharing, like Darryl does when he travels, pictures and videos and lives about where I am and what I'm learning and what people could see in these destinations at these resorts. So being a product of the product is very, very important. And whenever I book a trip for myself, or if I have a client that reaches out for a quote, I turn it into a flyer and I share it and ask people if they want to go on this trip. I make it a generic flyer and just share it and see who wants to go. And if I'm traveling, then I'm always telling them, join me on this trip. And I turn everything into a group just to get more clients. And if they don't want to go, I'm going anywhere anyway. And I'm going to share the experience that I'm having. So yeah, those are the things that I would suggest doing as far as marketing. The brand new person that comes in, if you're not traveling or you don't want to travel, highlight what's going on in your local area first, and then do something for yourself and advertise it as a group and ask anybody if they want to join you.
So what if I can't get out? There are some people who, for a variety of different reasons, let's say it's a home-based business. So let's say I am either sick or handicapped. You know, we got some people, you know, or some we got some have some well-seasoned folks that have partnered with us who not going to be out with the camcorder and the cell phone that they better know how to use. So what advice for marketing purposes do you have, either one of you, for the person that's broke and they ain't going nowhere, but they joined this business because they want to go somewhere later, but right now they broke. So that option of being a product of the product is maybe off the table. And for the person that maybe can't get out and go to the spot here or there, especially because of COVID, you know, maybe you know, we have a nice amount of people that age group that's like, I don't know about that one, too many people. So what outside of the box suggestions do you guys have for those two types of people?
So I'm gonna say, for the first type of person, right, the person that may not have the funds, I always look at it like this. Deborah said something that was key. If there is a destination that I have a desire to go to, or somebody asks about a trip, I'm going to turn it into a group. Why? Because group trips with a certain criteria met turns into comps. So that money that you was anticipating having to spend, you now get to go at a fraction of the cost or even free, depending on what that group trip setup looks like. So we're never going to put ourselves in a situation where we can't go anywhere. That's going to push us to work harder. So yeah, we might not have the money, but I got the hustle. I got the drive. So I'm going to work harder to make sure if I need to get 8 rooms, I'm going to get these 8 filled. And then on the back end, I'm going to go for free because I didn't did the work up front to get my own keeps. So that's how you do that. For those that can't get out, what you want to do is I might borrow Deborah's video and I might share, take a look at this video, my business partner in destination, as she shares some amazing information about the safety protocols. Again, it's all one big team. So again, if she's in destination, ask her, because it is her intellectual property. She didn't decided she was going to share her knowledge in this live video. So you don't want to just post jack. You're going to ask her, could you borrow the content and share it on your page for those who may not be able to get out? Another thing is your suppliers are always sending marketing material that you could turn into some social media posts. So where there's a will, there's a way. We're not going to make excuses. We're going to make money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in your IntelliTravel back office, you have hot deals back there. You have content back there that you could use from their blogs and use that content to share on your social media. So there are several ways that you can market and not having to leave your house.
So it sounds like I'm hearing that once you have made the financial sacrifice of purchasing this opportunity, it sounds like at that point you have zero excuse, because Mr. Jenkins just told me if I was broke, busted, and disgusted, spent my last $200 to get into this business, that I can still go on that Carnival cruise next year with no money. All I got to do is borrow Deborah Bond's post about a group trip, post it on social media for free, get about 8 to 10 people going, and I can go on this trip for free. Don't let them be leaving out of Baltimore. Got to fly.
Yes.
Well, I ain't leaving out of Baltimore, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Ain't leaving out of no ship out of Baltimore. But I'm just saying, if that is your preference, if you just simply want to take a sailing, by all means, do your thing. You can drive down to the Port of Baltimore. You can park there. You got a clear card. Sometimes they give you some parking perks. Listen.
So I got a quick question. So why wouldn't you travel out of Baltimore?
I would not travel out of Baltimore because I feel that the ships are dated. I feel you get more of a variety in terms of your sail itinerary. You get better sailing itineraries and you have much better ships out of Florida. Even sometimes you can drive to New York and do the same thing. The problem with New York is you have longer sea days. So for people who don't want to be at sea too long, they prefer to just take a quick flight, an hour, 2 hours down to Florida, and they can just get on the newer ships.
Hey,
That
hey,
makes
Raj,
sense.
and on that one, that I learned the hard way well, two things. One, leaving from the Baltimore joint, the harbor is smaller, so the real large ships don't go to the Baltimore joint, right?
And that's the reason why we have the older class ships, because they fit perfectly.
Right there. And then the second thing, when you trying to leave from Baltimore to get to the nice islands, the waters I've learned are a whole lot rough coming from Baltimore going all the way down to so if you a new cruiser or you don't like the rough waters, you got a whole day and a half, almost two, leaving from Baltimore. But if you broke, so what? You take one of them pills, you get on that chip in Baltimore, and you do what you got to do.
Or you just get the drink package and you won't even know what's going on.
You won't even know
Exactly.
what's going on. You might say, right,
I got the fun question, y'all. I got the fun question. This is we're gonna get some major nuggets from this question right here. Y'all ready? Here we go. And Daryl, I know Deborah Bond probably handles a little bit different. Daryl's a straightforward cat. So what about those frustration customers? They just checking, they price checking, right? You know, they hitting you up, asking you, can you check a look for this trip right here? And you know, they got champagne taste, but they got beer money. But how do you deal with those customers, right? That it's a new person can't see them coming. How can you help a brand new person to know when those type of customers are coming?
Well, our other master ambassador said to fire them, so I'm not going to tell them to do that immediately. But what I am going to tell them to do, however, is they definitely need to qualify their client. So for me, in my qualification process, in my quote form, it specifically asked, "Are you deposit ready? Yes or no? And if no, when will you be deposit ready? How much time do you need?" I'm not wasting my time at all if you're not deposit ready, because the price I quote you today, by the time you deposit ready, may change. So
That's
I'm
right.
going to already negate that from the beginning. And I employ for anybody listening to use the same strategy. You have to ask them, are they deposit ready? You can pretty much tell by asking a series of questions up front when you're speaking to. Let me stop there. Most agents who get frustrated are looking for people who are in their inbox looking for a trip. And they just, as soon as they asking, they're just ready to go run and start putting something together. No, you have to qualify. That's a consultation. It's almost like when the ladies go to the hair salon and they want color. You got to sit down. You got to talk through some things before you get color, so you don't have, a mistake. That's why it's called a consultation, client consultation. We call it properly qualifying your client. It's the same process. You got to get to know what they want. You got to get to know if it exists, because a lot of the times people ask for things. You're a novice in the industry. You're frustrated because you just spent 3.5 hours looking for something that don't exist. Why? Because you don't know no better. And you ain't asking no questions because you feel like you got it all. This is my business. I'm going to do this. No, you got to ask for help, because whatever they ask you may not. I always ask you, they ask me, hey, they looking for a rental house in Costa Rica. Does that exist? Because if you can show me that it exists, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. So I think sometimes just knowing what you have access to and qualifying is definitely going to be the way to mitigate that. Asking them, are they deposit ready, is going to then tell you, listen, I have your information here, but what we can do is when you're ready to make that deposit, we can have another conversation and I can rerun the numbers. I'm not going to run them today because they could change by the time you're ready. They will understand that, oh, I was just looking for some information. There's nothing you could do with the information today if you deposit ready in 3 weeks. The air could change. The room type could be gone.
That's a major nugget, bro.
Major.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I usually ask them, are they ready to make a deposit? But I usually say that because I just don't feel like wasting my time. But I like the secondary answer that Daryl just gives. So listen, if you're not ready right now, that could, 3 weeks, it could change. Right,
it's going to change.
Right. Let's not even talk about it right now, because you ain't got no money in your pocket. You don't get paid for the end of the month. Last question for you guys. This is on dealing with family. Do you or do you not, and why, book for family and friends? Now, just to get off the chest, what I say, my rule of thumb is, I'm not messing with family and friends with a 10-foot pole, right? I booked a trip for my mama. Then when she found out she got paid for it, she was like, you could have told me that. I would have did it myself. And she joined. So I don't book trips for family and friends. I tend to stay away from it. I will tell them that we can help them, and then I'm gonna give that booking to one of somebody that's working with me. But you guys, what are your thoughts on family and friends and why?
For me, it all depends on who the family and the friend is. Certain family members I already know they're not going to book anything. They're just searching for prices. Then they're gonna go somewhere and book it themselves, right? And friends do the same thing. So as Daryl said, if you're not deposit ready, then I'm just not gonna entertain you, right? And I learned the hard way when I first started this business is I was doing everything for my family and friends. I had to shut it down because they were just price shopping and they were doing whatever they wanted to do behind the scenes and going and booking it on Expedia or wherever they were booking it at. And then when they had issues, they would come back and say, "Hey, I got this issue. Can you help me?" No, I'm sorry.
Nope.
I can't help you.
Help me.
You didn't book
Nope.
it with me. You didn't let me book it, please. I can't help you, right? So now I am very, very selective, whether it's a family, a friend, or a new customer, on whether I'm going to book for you or not. I have kind of narrowed down what I'm booking, unless it's something for myself, where I'm only doing luxury. If somebody's looking for a cheap rate or cheap price, I'm not your travel agent. If you've already reached out to another travel agent and asked them for a rate or a quote, I'm not your travel agent. Go ahead and work with that agent, right? And if you're doing cruises, you want to cruise, then I'm gonna book it. That's it. I'm just not entertaining those people who are looking for just shopping around.
The
So I
word
feel
is posture. I love the posture that you
Mhm.
take for your business. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you heard nothing else, the posture of professionalism, no BS. This is what I'm doing. You can kick rocks. I love it.
So I would tell you, for me, again, also being a luxury certified travel advisor, I do not book anything less than 4.5, and that is rare.
Yep.
It's usually 5-star luxury properties for my clients. In fact, I have a group going on a beautiful, luxurious, brand new Norwegian Prima in December, and when I tell you it is amazing, I can't wait to go on that inaugural sailing in October so I can show everybody you
Oh,
ain't
you going with
booking.
them?
Foolish. But to answer that question,
Now you made it a group trip where I ain't get to know.
to answer that question about family and friends, I don't have an expectation. Let me say that I think a lot of times when we start the business, many of us feel like because you my family, you should book with me. I don't have an expectation. I don't turn them away if they come to me, and those that I know that are serious. In fact, I only have one family member that is my business partner. I just don't have the energy or the bandwidth for foolishness. So I opt to not deal with that. Like Deborah said, we have, when you have a plethora of clients, and I'm telling you, like my clients, literally, somebody reached out yesterday wanting to book hotel only, and they're spending $5,000 for hotel only. They got flight credits, $700 in commission. I don't do cheap stuff, and I need to make my own money. So I'm not making money for nobody else. I know how to make my own and do it well. So it's real easy for me. That's why I'm in the top 100 of IntelliTravel travel producers. It's real easy. Right? When you understand the math and you understand how to get there, the roadmap is simple. I'm not begging my family. In fact, my family came to me to book a cruise. They did a family cruise. It was called With the Family Cruise 2022 on a Carnival Horizon. I put it all together, did it in Travel Joy. We did a Zoom call. They ended up booking with this other travel agent who was going to do bells and whistles to get the sale. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not coming to the house. I'm not standing in front of the TV to do a presentation. Not doing that. If she's going to do it to get the sale, she's desperate. I gave you everything you needed to do. My youngest cousin, you computer savvy. Go over here, help the elderly, my aunt and uncle get their cabins, So I'm not doing it. So therefore, I'm not pressed for anybody to book with me. I don't have that kind of bandwidth. My clientele has been with me over the 8 years that I've been in business. So it's regular and consistent. They book birthdays, they book anniversaries, they're booking cruises, they want to do their kids stuff. Now it's graduation time. So that's how I look at my business. I'm always looking at where am I at now. So I'm in 2023 and it's August, right? You got to keep those things in mind. I'm not looking for anybody, family, friend, foe. I'm not chasing you to do none of that. I'm not chasing you to book. I'm not chasing you down. Hey, remember that quote you asked for? I'm too busy for that. So I think that people have to understand, again, as a business owner, I always look at it like when you go in a shoe store, you try on several pairs of shoes and you may not buy none of them. That sales representative who went to the back to get them shoes was counting on that commission.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't frustrated having to run back and forth to get them shoes that you didn't pay for. I'm not frustrated if you don't book. That's just how I look at it.
Right. So in the beginning, so for those new people, in the beginning, when I first started this business, I didn't know better. I was booking any and everything. I was doing the quotes. I mean, I was, sending them out and all that stuff. And people were not booking. I didn't get discouraged because I knew I was traveling myself. But now that I've been educated and become certified in certain areas, I know my worth. I know what the quality of service that I'm giving my customers. And I'm not going to just go back and forth with you on trying to get you something cheaper when what I'm giving you is more valuable than what that price they are paying. So that's why my posture has changed from the years of being here, that I learned my lesson, that everybody is not my client. I cannot service everybody. And then when you do those quotes and those trips for those 3-star resorts or some 4-star resorts, then they're going to complain about everything at that resort. And that's something else that you have to deal with. If you do your research and you learn the properties that you're selling and you learn what they're offering your clients, then you won't have those complaints and having to go back and forth with your clients. So that's why I changed.
Deborah made a really good point. I had some clients I sent to the brand new Breathless Soul in Cancun in December. They got engaged. They did a surprise pop the question engagement for them. The management was involved. It was at a restaurant. They went and celebrated their honeymoon. They booked through another agent, so they was frustrated about that process. She said, I should have stuck with what I know. I should have came back to you. So I talked to her through the process, talked to her about the property. She went there. She said, when we get the Breathless, we got greeted with towels and champagne, and it was this aromatic smell, and the beds was comfortable, the food was good. We get over here, we ain't get none of that. And I'm like, you ain't booking with me. I can't help you. So they get accustomed because they know I'm not putting them nowhere I'm not gonna stay. Yes. And like Deborah said, when you put them in 3, 3.5, 4-star, no luxury component, yeah, it's a trip. They may be comfortable, but somebody out of that group space is going to complain about something. You're not going to be able to please every single person. But when the majority complains and you're the agent on property, you're going to have to spend most of your time mitigating those complaints. Yeah. The bed is hard. The decor is this. It don't even have a clock in the room. The food is this. The drinks are watered down. The butler never showed up. We don't even have a butler. The air don't work. The toilet is clogged. The sink, everything that go. The doorknob was. I think Imani was at my house about a month ago, and one of her clients was in destination saying something about the shower, the towel rack in the bathroom was broken. And we sitting there looking like, well, what the hell do you want her to do with that? Like,
right.
You complaining about the towel rack in a 4-star? You lucky it's one in the room. Like, people, seriously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why, you got to know. And again, like I said, I get it. A lot of people try to cater to what the client base want. What a client wants this. I'm the one, and I feel like that's what differentiates us from being a travel agent or a travel advisor. I'm going to advise you that's not a good look. And here's some considerable things that you should think about, right? That's going to help to change the decision. I have a client who was working with another agent who left the agency. She wanted something romantic and luxurious. They put them in the Ryu property. When I got wind of what resort they had put them in, I said, listen, it was your birthday trip. You would have been pissed. She was like, I asked her for romance, something, because me and my boyfriend be going, it's my birthday. you would have been upset. I'm sorry. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to increase your budget by another $1,500, and I'm going to place you in this amazing Preferred Club private pool. And Preferred Club is this special space where you have private pool, you got private beach access, you have private bar, premium liquor, butler service, you have your own restaurant. You have to understand that your clients respect you more when you give them options and tell them why. You can tell them the value and what they're doing, they're likely going to increase the budget. So that's why I don't deal with people who are trying to save $1.
Yeah.
So
Imani said, right.
Mr. Leonard, I just figured out that Deborah and Daryl are going to have to put together my next vacation. I mean, the way they roll, there's no reason, Roger, for you or I to be, you know, what are we putting together our next trip for?
Man,
I'm loving this. One thing I can certainly say, and Daryl, you talked about it. This opportunity, and mind you, we just talking about the travel side. We ain't talking about the other 6 checks, right? We just talking about the travel side of this opportunity. You just described, Daryl, how you can, with this opportunity, what we call write your own check. And Daryl sat there and said, man, look, I'm writing my own checks with this business based on what he is predetermining for, or was no, based on what you are, because you doing your projections. So
Forecasting.
he's writing his checks based on his projections for next year. Come on, y'all.
more importantly,
98% of the people who work with us in this business are on a part-time basis. Go ahead,
but
Ryan.
more importantly, he's doing it part-time. You know, so there's no excuses, man, for folk, you know, not to be able to work this business on a part-time basis and get paid. But I got a quick plug, because I know it's after the time. I got a quick plug. Listen, you all, if you're on here for the first time, if you watch this later on, replay, every first and third, Monday, 8 p.m., you get to chime into these two, and they're on there. They're pouring their hearts out. They're training you all on stuff that we haven't even tapped into yet. So I highly recommend for everybody to chime in first and third Monday, 8 p.m. For travel training.
If you are in the area, we hope to see you guys on Saturday for our first Hot Saturday training and our Master Ambassador panel. So we are here to answer all of your questions. Come with some complex stuff, some stuff that you really had some challenges you need to uncover. Make sure that you are in the building, because we're definitely going to be there for you.
Absolutely. So listen, guys, we are getting ready to close it up. We know you can catch us every first and third Wednesdays right here in the Platinum Network group, or you can check us out live on YouTube. That is What's the Word Wednesdays.com. So either one of those places, you can catch us out first and third Wednesdays, and we'll be right back. Looking forward to having great topics and conversations with you all. We want to get closing remarks from superstar Deborah Bond. Go ahead and just speak from the heart for a couple seconds. Talk to your fellow travel agent entrepreneurs out there who are no longer, if you was acting like a secret agent, no more secret agents out there, right? So go ahead and talk to your fellow travel agents. Give them the closing remarks.
All right. Thank you guys for having me on this evening. So my closing remarks to you all of you all travel advisors, travel professionals out there, is to continue to press forward in working your travel business. You might be a little bit discouraged. You might not have had any bookings yet, but continue to press forward. Do some training, specialize, pick out a niche that you're going to specialize in, so that you can learn all about that area and market it. Just market it and see what people want to do and when they want to go. And for those of you all who don't want to get out, use those hot deals, use the information that's coming from your suppliers that you have registered with, and use Travel Talk to ask questions after you've done your research, right? That's it for me.
Hey. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you all for jumping on, and we will see you on third.